Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the SAAB 99. Welcome back, and if you're new to Quarterlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube looking at cars from the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars and car brochures, please consider subscribing. Anyway, back to today's episode, the SAAB 99. It says the SAAB 99GL here actually, but it's also got the turbo in there as well. So quite a nice brochure, this one. It's from 1978 and it's a UK brochure, so let's have a look at that now. So here it is, the SAAB 99, and as it says here, GL brochure. This is from 1978, like I say, and the SAAB 99 introduced in 68, ran all the way to 84. It wasn't actually a predecessor for the SAAB 99, it was kind of like a new class of car for SAAB, because it was also running the SAAB 96, the smaller SAAB, so this was like one step up. So what we'll do, we'll certainly have a zoom in on this particular image, and then we'll actually look in the brochure itself. So look at some of the text. It is a very wordy brochure, this one, so we won't be reading all the text, but it is a nice one. It's got some nice features, also showing the SAAB 99 turbo in there as well. The turbo actually arrived in 78, and this is a 78 brochure, so this is actually when it arrived, so that's interesting as well. Anyway, first of all, we'll zoom in on this front picture, and there it is. These SAABs were very much known for being a very well made car, very comfortable car, and actually quite enjoyable to drive. I did actually own the smaller version, the 96, and certainly they were extremely well made. We can just about make up, actually I'll zoom in a little bit on the lights, you can just about make out the wipers. They're hard to see though. They are the wipers for the SAAB 99, obviously great for Swedish winters and pushing the snow away. Just about making that. There was kind of like a push type, instead of a normal wiping pattern, it kind of just pushed backwards and forward. Quite a good little design anyway. What we'll do, we'll open the brochure up and have a look at some more of the images. And I was just about to turn the page and I thought I might as well tell you, this like very creamy colour, this is actually called alabaster yellow, just for those who wanted to know. Let's open that brochure now. And as we turn the page, we've got another nice image of this SAAB 99GL, this time in Cinnabar Red. I've also got an introduction to the different variations of SAABs that we're going to see in this brochure actually. So it's a little bit confusing at the front by saying 99GL, but there's all these different models, so we'll certainly have a look at these different models we could buy. So we could get a 99GL Saloon, which was probably the most popular one. This time it's in 2 doors, and this is 100 horsepower with a manual gearbox. If we move down, there's also the SAAB 99GL Saloon with 4 doors. So they were certainly the most popular models. There's one called the Super, which has got a twin carburetor, 108 horsepower with an automatic transmission, and the single carburetted manual gearbox, 100 horsepower, same as that 2-door version. These were the most popular, these saloons, and certainly the ones I saw around most in the 70s and 80s. And then we also got this, the SAAB 99GL Combi Coupe, 3 doors. Yeah, it's a bit of a hatchback. I don't remember these quite as well from the 70s. These Combi Coupes arrived in 74 and they went in 79, so didn't have quite as long a run. Again, we've got that automatic version with that twin carburetor, or the manual with the single carburetor, same sort of idea as the Saloon. So that's the 3-door version. You could also get a 5-door version as well. Again, twin carburetor Super with either a manual gearbox or an automatic, so you could get that twin carburetor in the manual if you picked the Combi Coupe with 5 doors. A little bit unusual styling, and we'll have better looks at that in a moment. And then we got this very rare car, a SAAB 99 Turbo with 3 doors. So turbocharged, manual gearbox, 145 horsepower. Only available as that unusual combi coupe at this time. And you can see the spoiler at the back there, and that sort of like spoiler under the front bumper as well. Unusual model, especially when you think the Turbo came out in 78 and then the combi coupe was discontinued in 79. That would make that a very rare car. And you could also get it with 5 doors as well. And it's referring to this as a limited edition. So then the next brochure, we're looking at the interior, and it's a really good quality brochure with really good quality pictures, and you don't always get such good quality pictures in a brochure, but you know, it's showing the quality of the brochure like the quality of the cars in many ways, I think. First of all, we'll look at the seats, and then we'll have a look at some of these dashboards. Like I said, the wording itself is a bit wordy, so we're not going to read it all, but very much highlighting safety, which was certainly one of the SAAB qualities, like Volvo, I guess. So it's telling us these seats, the front seats of the SAAB 99 can be adjusted to most individual requirements. The lumbar support is flexible and requires no manual resetting. The moulding padding is soft but firm. Then it tells us the instruments of the SAAB 99 are clearly visible from the driver's seat and, owing to their size, are easy to read. And then we look at the dash. I think it's such a nice looking dashboard for the 70s actually. We got this sort of nice wood, and here it says fasten your seat belts. A very ordinary plain switchgear, but it all looks really good quality and really nice clear dials. I think overall I think it's a really nice looking interior, just like the exterior. It's just something a little bit different, I think. And then when we turn the page, this is titled the interior is luxurious both to driver and passenger. So let's zoom in and have a look at some of these images. A little bit of a look at the headline, and that's actually telling us that this headline is actually glass fibre and is covered with nylon velour. We also have a look at this switchgear. I really like how they're titled, and you know, it's such a clear looking dashboard. So we've got warm or cool fresh air, and a mixture. It says, you know, going through the footwells, etc, etc. So nothing by today's standards, but back then it was nice to have a little bit of good controls. Obviously showing you've got plenty of leg room at the rear. A nice big boot on this particular saloon version, and then very 70s looking, but I really do like these green seats. A nice looking interior. Like I said, them front seats look very comfortable, and you've got them integrated head restraints. Now if we look at one side, it's actually showing kind of like the load carrying area of that combi coupe, so the hatchback version. You know, you're showing you can fold the seats down, etc. Then we got this lovely large image of the SAAB 99GL in 4 doors. We'll certainly zoom in on some of those features, but again, it's really showing the quality of this brochure. The picture quality is far higher than most brochures of this time, or even after actually. Really good quality photos in it. We'll zoom up to the text at the top there, then we'll start moving down and looking at some of these little key features. So the 4-door model of the SAAB 99GL is a pleasant and comfortable car, and is ideal for drivers who often need to carry passengers in the back seat. An elegant, practical, everyday car, as convenient in city traffic as it is comfortable on a longer trip. So first of all, we've got a little bit of an image of this SAAB 99GL in 4 doors in motion. And then we've got this really nice version of it parked up from the rear. This particular colour, for anyone interested, is midnight blue. Particularly like these wheels, sort of like steel wheels, but very well styled with that sort of like centre cap in the middle, which is rather nice. Little bits of chrome. Of course, this is the 70s, so we've got a bit of chrome, but because this is very much a safety vehicle, we've got these impact absorbing bumpers by this time. And like I say, this is the saloon, but I really like the styling of the saloon, how it sweeps away. It's got this low boot line. I think it's just a very well, nice styled vehicle. And then the next page, we've got this nice little, it's quite a wordy page, so I've just zoomed straight in on this little image. Quite a nice little X-ray style image. And it kind of like shows the blue areas of all these like strengthening pieces. And as we can see, the bonnet is folding or tipping forward, a front hinge bonnet. Same as the 96, actually. The 96 I had that same opening bonnet. It's really talking about safety, this page, so I'll just point a few things out. It's saying SAAB was first to introduce headlamp wipers and washers. SAAB effectively launched headlight wipers and washers in the autumn of 1970. And it's talking about the slushy, dirty conditions often found in the Nordic climate. And then if we move down, it's saying the first bumper worthy of the name, the bumper was introduced on the 1972 models. The SAAB bumper is self-repairing. And then we've got some pages really talking about this unusual SAAB 99 Turbo. Has this sort of like combi or hatchback version you could get it in. So we'll certainly look at some of these details because it's quite interesting stuff. At the top here it's telling us the SAAB turbocharger engine, a sensation in the motoring world. And of course at this time it's very uncommon to put a turbocharger in a normal passenger car straight from the factory. It says when SAAB introduced the unique turbocharger engine in the autumn of 77. Now I always thought the turbocharged version came out in 78, but indeed it's telling us autumn 77 is when it was introduced. Don't know if you could actually get any 77 turbos or whether it's just an introduction. It's not really clear. But he's telling us, sensational enough, this power unit offers the best acceleration in the range of speeds where swiftness of overtaking is most important. And now we got a little bit of an image of this engine and turbo, and a little bit of a sketch of the turbo itself. And there is a little bit of a picture. Looks like in black, doesn't it, this particular version? Turbo badge clearly showing on that bonnet, which would tip forward. At the time, that would look quite unusual. Certainly a very rare car, this one. I'm not sure if I've even ever seen one of these very early SAAB 99 Turbo Combi Coupes. But there it is. Very collectible car today. Interior wise is really very nice as well. Look at that, with those amazing red seats in there, and that sort of very unusual door card on there as well. Going back to the main image, obviously this is the 3-door model. It's telling us that the 5-door model was a limited edition, so that would be even rarer, wouldn't it? Particularly like these one-off alloy wheels, very unusual. And we've got this little bit of a spoiler at the front there as well. And this is also showing I presume it's probably a solid steel sunroof on there as well. No rear wiper at the back though. And like I say, the rear is very unusual. I do particularly like these rear lights, I think. The exhaust looks like it's very much just tacked on and dangling back there, doesn't it? It's not really hidden in any way. But all unusual stuff. We've got many little mud flaps. We've got another mud flap here and here, all to protect the underside of it. All in all, a very nice looking car. It's telling us we've got sports car performance and big car comfort. Top speed around about 120 miles per hour. Remember, this is 1978, so a fast car for the time, and acceleration in around about 8.9 seconds. And then we've got a little bit of information about the SAAB 99GL Combi Coupe in both 5-door and 3-door. So let's start with this 5-door version and have a look at some of the text, what it's talking about. So as we zoom in on the 5-door, very unusual styling. This particular colour is Dorado Brown, very sort of 70s colour, isn't it? We sort of like this tan interior. I just think there's such unusual styling on these Combi Coupes and quite elegant actually. big hatch to open, and it's very sort of elegant. I really like these rear tail lights particularly. Quite an unusual model. I've got these mud flaps look very unusual, don't they, as well? They're like sloping down in that way, and also on the front as well. I wonder what happened to mud flaps. Don't see them anymore, do you? I don't know if that's to do with better styling, I don't know. But certainly, particularly these front flaps here really protected the underside of the car from corrosion, and I think they lasted quite well actually, these Saab 99s, corrosion wise. Below we do have that sort of tan coloured interior, quite attractive, and the text, let's have a look at that now. It says it's roomy, safe family car, and the Saab 99GL Combi Coupe has a superbly comfortable and spacious interior. It has the same unique road behaviour which characterises all Saabs. All the same important features of the Saab safety design, such as energy absorbing zones at the front and rear, sturdy steel sections in the windscreen, pillars around the edges of the roof and the doors, plus impact absorbing padding throughout the interior. And then we've got the 3-door one as well. This particular one looks like an orangey shade, but it's actually another shade of brown. It's Chamotte brown, this one. Again, I always look at these wheels, I really like, I think they're just such an attractive wheel. I think possibly the 3-door looks a little bit nicer styled. The only thing about the 5-door, we kind of got this extra window and it kind of like made it a little bit cluttered, I think, but I think I preferred the 3-door design, and obviously that big practical rear hatch really helped with accommodation. And in fact the lower picture gives us another shot of that rear hatch open, and again I'm reminded by this very unusual styling of the Combi Coupe. So it tells us that a comfortable practical transport vehicle, the maximum length load carrying area of the Saab 99GL Combi Coupe is just over 182 centimetres long. It has a maximum height of 92 centimetres. The conversion from a comfortable car to a practical load carrier can be achieved without tools in less than 30 seconds. The rear door extends from the edge of the roof right down to the bumper. The gas springs automatically lift the rear door from a horizontal position, and when fully open, the headroom below it is then slightly less than 180 centimetres. Loading and unloading are exceptionally easy since there is no sill at the rear. The height of the lift from the ground level to the floor of the boot is no more than 53 centimetres. The bumper can be used as a support when loading heavier goods. And yes, indeed, cars in the 70s and even early 80s quite often had a sill there. You really struggled to lift things in. It doesn't happen here. It's a nice load height, and very unusual. It says you can use the bumper as support when lifting heavy items. Really just a testament to how strong these cars were. And then we've got the 4-door and the 2-door saloons, really the more common versions, I think, so we'll certainly zoom in on these as well. So this particular 4-door is in marble white and looking quite nice in that colour actually, quite a light coloured interior as well. Again, these really nice wheels, and we can just about make out the wipers for the lights on there as well. Anyway, let's move down and see what it's got to say about the Saab 99GL, because it's still talking about load carrying capacity actually. It says the Saab 99GL saloon, if the load carrying capacity of the Combi Coupe is too large for your needs, the massive load carrying capacity of the Combi Coupe may be unnecessary for some people, so the 99GL range also includes a 2-door saloon and 4-door saloon. The saloon models have a more traditional styling than the Combi Coupe models, although they offer the same high comfort and abundant seat space. The aerodynamically sensible design of the body contributes to a good fuel economy, insensitive to crosswinds and a low level of wind noise. On the saloon models of the Saab 99, the design of the body and locations of the bumpers are coordinated so that the air current will prevent grime and dirt fouling the rear lights. Unusual design feature. The boot of the SAAB saloon is large and of practical design. It has a capacity of 356 dm cubed, unusual, SAE. As on all other SAAB models, the boot can easily be expanded by folding down the back seat and backrest. The total load carrying capacity will then be 1300 dm cubed. The conversion can be carried out in less than 30 seconds without tools. And then we've got this nice little image of this guy loading like a box of something that looks like it's possibly breakable. But the unusual thing is, this is a saloon with folding down rear seats. Quite unusual in the 70s. I wonder how many cars had that feature in the 70s, but certainly helped the load capacity for the saloon model. It says on the 4-door model, loading is facilitated by the load carrying area being accessible through the rear side doors, so the space available can generally be utilised more effectively. The 4-door saloon is powered by the SAAB 2-litre single carburettor engine rated at 73 kW, 100 horsepower DIN, which drives through a manual gearbox, or by the twin carburettor engine on the auto. And then we've got the 3-door model. And interesting, this picture really shows clearly the third sort of mud flap or weather flap right there. Again, to prevent, corrosion underneath. Nice little feature on there as well. Anyway, let's learn a little bit more about this 2-door version. This colour, of course, is that cinnabar red again. So the 2-door saloon, yet another interesting alternative. The choice between the 2-door saloon model is purely a matter of taste and personal preference. Those who often carry passengers in the back seat may prefer the 4-door. Others may find the 2-door car to be ideal. The width of the back seat is lavish. The elbow room is no less than 153 centimeters. The scope for expanding the boot is the same as the 4-door model. The 2-door saloon is powered by the SAAB 2-litre single carburettor, which drives through a manual gearbox, so no automatic option. Move on, we've now got some very interesting accessories which we'll certainly have a look at now, and then we'll come to the colours, and some of them colours we didn't actually see in the brochure, so we'll look at that colour as well. Okay, accessories. I always like the accessories page actually on these period brochures. They always have some unusual twists. First of all, this alloy wheel. Never seen this alloy wheel on a SAAB before, but certainly interesting. It's also showing both here and here, this being a spoiler that you could get. It's telling us it helps road holding and reduces fuel consumption apparently. We've also got this unusual seat cover, like a cover that goes over the seat, but it's very well fitted, and also this like little fitment you can put on the head restraints to make it a bit more comfortable. We have of course got roof racks, an unusual decal which I quite like on the white one actually, very 70s, very Starsky and Hutch, isn't it? We have of course tow bars, and then this very unusual feature. It's telling us this we can fit this like centerpiece between the front seats as a child guard, so in the event of an accident your kid doesn't roll forward. Obviously the days before we're putting kids in rear seat belts. Helmet not included, I'm assuming, but an unusual little period extra. Okay, so a lot of these colours we've seen already, haven't we, as we've gone through the brochure. So we've seen alabaster yellow, midnight blue, chamois brown, cinnabar red, dorado brown and marble white. I don't think we saw cardinal red though, cardinal red metallic. It's telling us that's a 5-door turbo colour, which is probably why it wasn't shown. Quite a nice metallic-y colour though. And then we've got this mystery colour. Strangely, he put it in the brochure, didn't even tell us what name was. It would have been at least nice to show us what name that was, wouldn't it? But it says not available in UK, and that's the end of that. And then the reason why these are all labelled A, B, C, D, etc. because you know it depends what colour you got, depending on what colour interior you got on there. So that cardinal red metallic was your interior colour. So there we go, back page now. Nice little image of this 99 cardinal red. Technical data is actually impossible to put on camera. The writing is way too small for a start off, and it's just like written out, so it's very hard to follow on there. Unfortunately, they did a better job of these specifications in later brochures, I think. But one interesting thing is this little section which tells us like the equipment levels on that turbo version. So I think we'll just have a look at that little paragraph at the end there. So this is purely for the SAAB 99 Turbo 3 and 5 door, and remember the 99 Turbo was only available with that Convair Coupe, so it's a 3 door or 5 door. So it's telling us it had tinted glass all around, opening rear side windows, then 3 little stars is telling us that's for the 3 door model, electrically operated outer rear view mirrors. Those 2 little stars are telling us that's the 5 door model. Windscreen wipers and intermittent function, electrically heated driver's seat, electrically heated co-driver's seat, 2 door telling us that's for the 5 door only. Headrest cushions, folding armrests in the back seat, inertia rear seat belts for the outer passengers at the rear, lap strap in the centre of the back seat, grab handles on the fascia, cigarette lighter, map reading light, lamp, luggage compartment lighting, 3-spoke sports steering wheel, 3 little stars is telling us that's for the 3 door model, tachometer or rev counter, front spoiler at the rear, and sunroof. So a very highly spec'd car for 1978, I think. We also have this as well, little fuel economy figures for the various different models. I'm not going to go through that all right now, but nothing spectacular is there in them fuel economy figures, but you know, I think it was relatively a heavy car for the size of it. Back page has got a nice little SAAB logo on the backhand. We can just about make out, you know, printed in Sweden in 1978 and a little GB on the end there. So there we go, the SAAB 99GL. I think a really interesting car, and they like to do things a bit different. I like that about SAAB. SAAB was one of my favourite manufacturers, particularly liked them in the 70s and early 80s. That's kind of my favourite SAAB era. Kind of like sad it's no longer around, really. Thank you so much for watching Course Like today. If you've got memories of these SAAB 99s, please jot it in the comments. I read every one and I enjoy reading those. If you've not done already, please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon. So for now, we'll say take care and goodbye.